cocktail segment, and this time we are going to be speaking to the brand manager for, or the brand ambassador, sorry, for Quincy. So we do have them on the line right now. Laura is going to take us through a little bit about Quincy. You probably haven't heard of Quincy before, but if you have, you're seeing it right here. It is an alcoholic seltzer, which is quite a new thing in Australia, and it is the lead in Australia. So Laura's going to take us through a few ways to make some cocktails, which are perfect for the midweek as well.
And Katie, we are actually in the bar.
Oh yes, in our
office. So we've moved scenes. We haven't gone to a bar. We've actually just moved down the other end of our office, which nobody's in at the moment because we're all still working from home. But we're going to make a long. So we are.
And shows you our priorities at Social Soup as well, our very well stocked bar.
So we are very excited that we are going to, we've already started drinking it, sorry, but we've got plenty of bottles. We are ready to go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, first I just want to say, firstly, thank you so much for today. I've been dipping in and out, and it's been so great to hear to people from different industries. You kind of get caught in your own bubble sometimes. So it's so good to just have a day, half a day, just to kind of like really kind of see what else is going on out there. So thank you so much. Like the girl said, I am the brand manager for Quincy. I've been working really closely with the innovation team on this since the very beginning. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of the journey of Quincy, because you're probably all like, what is a sparkling alcoholic seltzer? So hopefully I'm going to answer that for you. I'm going to share a few slides, and then we're going to get straight into making this cocktail, so I can see you've got all the stuff there ready to go. So let me just share my screen.
Should we just keep drinking this while you're doing that?
Yeah, just
by yourself with the RTD.
It's great.
Which we should say, easy to drink on its own as well.
Oh yes, well that's it. So it's I'll go into that, but yeah, it's perfect just over ice with a slice of lime or a wedge of passion fruit, or I can see here there's a really cold can, perfect for a picnic in the park. But we're going to make some cocktails at the end. So I'm just going to take you through a bit of the journey and why we even launched a sparkling alcoholic seltzer in the first place. So just when you're working in innovation, it's really important just to keep a kind of eye on what are the big trends happening in the country. What are the big kind of cultural shifts and the landscape that really can impact what your drinkers are wanting, what their needs are. So in innovation, we always do this. And we saw two big macro trends happening in Australia, which we've been kind of like talking about today. So this first one is well-being, a huge trend. I mean, I think it was worth 16 billion last year in Australia. And it continues to grow. So this influences what people are eating, what they're drinking, what they're doing. I think the best example of this is the supermarket. You know, a few years ago, you'd have a few kind of products on a dusty shelf for health, and now it's one, maybe even two aisles in a supermarket. And the other thing that we're really seeing the change is also people's changing tastes. So we used to be kind of a country that really wanted lots of sweet things. So soft drinks were heroes. But now we've kind of really shifted into this sourness and bitterness and spices, which people are really looking for, which I think the Cedar guys were talking about before with some of those flavors that they were using. And this is balanced still with that want for a bit of sweetness. But I think the rise in kombucha really shows how people's palates are really changing. So we looked at these two trends, and this is having a big impact on what modern drinkers are wanting from their drinks. So, you know, the first big change and what people want, they want a drink that's better for you. I mean, if I'm going to smash it in the gym all week, but then I still want to have fun at the weekends, I don't want to undo all my work in one go. I want to still have a drink that tastes good, but it's still kind of better for me. The next big change is they don't want sugar in all their drinks. It used to be that fat was kind of like the enemy, but now people have really woken up to the fact it's sugar, and you don't want your alcoholic drinks laden with sugar. And the last one is the occasion. So I think there's been a real shift in what people are looking for in a drinking occasion. You know, we've all got in these pressures in the modern world so much more responsibility that we don't want those big hedonistic, you know, drink-filled nights. We want to connect with friends over a drinking occasion on an afternoon. So think of that Sunday afternoon where, you know, you want to be able to get up tomorrow, do what you need to do, but still have fun with your friends in the moment. So we looked at what was current in Australia, and we realized that there was actually no one category that was delivering to all of these consumer needs. You know, you've got beer that's perceived as bloating, cider, which was great a few years ago because it was natural. People woke up to the fact it was actually quite full of sugar. You've got spirits that really don't fit with that lovely Sunday afternoon occasion, are a bit too potent. You've got wine, which is half that moderation. And then you've got your ready to drink, which is like your vodka cruisers, which is just full of calories and also has quite an immature and unsophisticated image associated with it. So what did we do? We looked outside Australia and we went to America, and we saw this huge trend over there called hard seltzers. Now, seltzer just literally means sparkling water. It's a really well-defined term and category in America. So if you went into a supermarket, you'd see a whole seltzer aisle dedicated to seltzers, whether it be plain sparkling water or flavored sparkling water. So hard seltzer literally just means alcoholic sparkling water. And this category has boomed in America over the last 4 to 5 years. So much so that last year they recorded that 55% of Americans who drink alcohol had actually had a seltzer in the last week. So if you think about how many people are in America, that is an insane amount of volume being drunk over there as seltzers. And why do people love them? Well, they're natural, they're perceived to be better for you, they're low calorie and low sugar, and they're also just a great alternative, refreshing alcoholic drink. So what did we do? We, in November, launched Australia's first sparkling alcoholic seltzer, which was so exciting to be part of. And we launched Quincy. And we actually we had a lot of media and press attention around this as well, because I think everyone was excited to see a brand new product come to Australia, a brand new category. So how is alcoholic seltzer made? So there's actually 2 ways, and you'll start seeing this as more products enter the market. But there's a seltzer that can be made. So this is when you ferment a grain, a sugar cane, a corn syrup, or a malt. And that means that the alcohol is naturally occurring. So you don't add alcohol in, that's how the alcohol is in there. And then you add a bit of natural flavour with it. The other way is mixed. So that's when you have a neutral spirit, so a vodka, you add sparkling water, and then you add some of that natural flavour in. So how do we make Quincy? Quincy is made using rice fermentation. So it means our alcohol is naturally occurring and it's also gluten-free, which is great. After fermenting, we then infuse it with a hint of real passion fruit or lime juice. So there's no need for those like sugary mixers. And that results in a really delicate taste profile, which is really low in bitterness and none of that alcoholic burn either. So what are the benefits? So we're 50% lower sugar than leading vodka premixes and 30% less carbs. We're gluten-free. We're made here in Australia. It's made using real fruit juice and there's no added preservatives. It's one standard drink which is 4% ABV. So it's perfect for moderating too. So Quincy, drink different. I've got a few 6-second videos to show you. There are online ads which you may have seen when you're watching catch-up TV, or you may have seen them on some of your social channels. And they're just some really fun little ads that we created, just to give you a bit of sense of personality of the brand, but also just to kind of show like what the functional benefits of what Quincy is. I have no confidence in my technology working, so you might not get any sound, but that's fine. They're just good to watch. Here we go. And the response we've been getting from people that we've seen across our social has been so great and really positive. People are loving the taste, they're loving the packaging, They're loving having something different to drink as well. I think everyone's been so excited about having a new category. And they're also loving the kind of funness of the brand as well. So if you want to kind of have a little bit look more what we've been doing, our Instagram page is @quincy.seltzer, and that will give you a real flavour of the brand. So lastly, on to our cocktails. So like I said at the beginning, Quincy definitely served best just over ice with a wedge of passion fruit or a slice of lime, or like I said, directly out the can. But at the beginning of lockdown, like Sharon said at the very beginning of the day, we really saw that people wanted to kind of like connect with friends. So, and they were starting to make kind of like cocktails. But these cocktails seemed really complicated. I know that I got on that kind of bandwagon and was really like finding it quite expensive, and it was all a bit fiddly. So we decided to work with this really awesome bartender called Paige, who came up with 4 super simple, super easy cocktails that you can make at home with just ingredients you've got lying around.
We're ready to go.
Yeah, we're hoping to go. We've got all of that.
Cool. So yeah, so I'll go through and say all the actual the recipes are on our Instagram page, our Instagram TV, and also on our website. But I'm gonna kick off first with our QT highball. So you ready, girls? I'm gonna put it on.
We are just sourcing our Twinings peppermint tea bags.
Oh, cool. Well, actually,
they are.
any brand will do.
I know, but we like Twinings on, so we love Twinings.
Oh, of course. Awesome. So, yes, so this is super easy, super refreshing. You want to, you can see that I've used a stemless wine glass, but you can use a highball. And then what you want to do is put your peppermint tea bag in there. Like I said, any kind of brand will do. Trying to be great. Put your tea bag in there. And then next, you just want to take some fresh herbs. So any herbs that float your boat will do. I've got a bit of dill and mint here. But you could put sage or thyme or anything you want. Just pop that in. Oh, sorry, you can see what I'm doing. I'll cut myself off a little bit there. Sorry, guys. And then you want to take your lime, Quincy. So we use the lime one here because that real lime juice will just cut through those herbs and give a real vibrancy to drink. So just top it up with the whole 300 ml of Quincy, and then just top with ice. It's really that simple, and that would just be a lovely long drink to enjoy in the garden. And over time, like that tea bag will diffuse as well. All those flavors will come out, so it's delicious.
That was really easy.
Yeah.
We honestly, and it's so weird. Like we try to make it as easy as possible so people could just make it at home, but something a little bit fancy, a little bit different.
Yeah. And so do you leave the tea bag in there and just let it infuse?
Leave the tea bag in there, and then you'll find that it will like diffuse over time, which is kind of great. So the flavor kind of changes as you're drinking. It's delicious.
Mm.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Awesome.
It's actually really delicious.
Yeah. Normally we would share that cocktail, but
that's right. It's probably not the best look right now.
I'm ready for the Aperol.
Yeah.
Yes. This was my favorite too. So I when we were making these cocktails, I was like, Paige, we've got to have an Aperol in there because Aperol Spritz is my favorite. But I find Prosecco can be a bit sweet over time. So I was like, please, can we do something with lower sugar? So we came up with the Quincy Spritz. So you'll want a wine glass for this cocktail. If you got one, or a highball will do, whatever you've got. Ah, sweet. There you go. And then the first thing you want to do, you want to get half a lime, give it a good squeeze.
Oh, I'm going to do that. Okay. My assistant will do that, actually.
Oh, sorry, not a lime, a lemon. Sorry, a lemon. Lemon. I had lime, I saw lime Quincy. Sorry, a lemon.
I can only work with the right instructions, Laura.
I know.
I'm only one woman. Okay.
All right, I'm going to go with this one. Okay, squeeze it. Just squeeze it in.
Give it a good old squeeze. Don't get any pips in there, but give it a good old squeeze.
It's all right. We'll pick the pips out later.
Yeah, get the pips out later. Perfect. And then you want to add, give it good with that. Perfect. And then it's 30 mils of Aperol Spritz, or Aperol.
It's a very fertile lime. Lemon. I'm just gonna.
Oh, get out the pics.
Okay.
Do a cupful.
30 mils.
We're going to put 4, if that's fine with you.
We did have one, but it's just we'll free pour.
1, 2, 3.
Couple of glugs. There you go.
All good.
And then this time we're going to use the passion fruit Quincy. This one out of the 2 flavors is obviously the sweeter flavor, and it's really good contrast against the bitterness of the Aperol. So put in half of the Quincy, and then you'll want to top it up half. Then put your ice in, and this will just keep the drink cool, and also what's the word I'm looking for? Decant it slightly, so that dilute it slightly, and then you just finish off with the rest of the Quincy, and it makes a really lovely, light, bright drink for the afternoon. Perfect to share with friends. Cheers!
Cheers! Oh, that does look good.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, that is delicious.
My lockdown, zooming with my friends over Quincy cocktails. It was brilliant.
That is definitely delicious. I am all of this.
I'm so pleased you like them. Yeah, like I said,
Thank you so much. Do you know what? I must say that everyone who set this bar up, we've just had a shocker. They had a proper squeezing tool. We actually have this, but we've just.
We have people shaking their heads everywhere.
Exactly.
So that's what you do when you're at home. So it's fine.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. It was really.
Yeah.
Oh, you are welcome.
Should we go to a few cute questions?
Yes.
Love to.
Alex, sorry, we'll just. Okay, where are we? Oh, we're going to scroll down. Is this a take on traditional rice wine then?
No, it's not. I mean, the only similarity is just using rice, but we do a whole kind of fermentation process, so it's very different to like sake. It's just the way that the alcohol occurs. That's the only reason why we use the rice.
Yeah, and I would say, I think you mentioned in your presentation that you don't get that sort of alcoholic taste to it, and you don't at all in terms of that.
All you get hard. Is that lovely. Is the fruit flavors come through?
It's very subtle, yeah. So I wouldn't say it tastes anything like a rice wine or a sake. It doesn't have that kind of fermentation.
No, not at all.
And we were even talking about this today. The name Quincy, where is that? What is that all about?
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny because everyone asks, and I always kind of like wish I had a much better story. But actually, we were just kind of sat around there with our creative guy, and we were trying to think of names of like, what kind of name makes us feel fun and kind of bright and light? And someone just said Quincy, and we all just went, I love that name. And it's just more of a feeling and how it makes you kind of like evoke.
Was that after a couple of Quincy's?
Yeah, probably. But no, it's more of a sense of a feeling rather than having there's no kind of a history. It's more of a feeling that you get when you say the name. It just made us all feel warm and fuzzy.
And look, if Sharon and I can make it, are these recipes on your website or somewhere that other people can find?
Yes, they're on our website. So if you head to our website, which is quincyaustralia.com.au, they've got a blog page, so it's called Quincy Life, and you'll find the recipes on there. And they're also on our Instagram page, which is quincy.seltzer. And we got on the IGT and the Instagram TV channel, we've actually got Paige, who came up with these, has recorded making them. And she did them from her mum's kitchen during isolation, which was super fun. So they're a bit rough and ready, but they're great.
Oh, fantastic. And we have a couple of other questions that have come through. Someone asked, is there a large range? Like, what are the different flavors in the entire range? I particularly love the passion fruit.
Yeah, we actually just started with passion fruit and lime. We only launched in November, so we're still super new to market. So we're going to we're just with these two at the moment, but there are definitely plans to have more flavors. We're actually running a competition at the moment on our social channel, where you can win some Quincy's if you kind of give some flavor suggestions. So if you head to our Instagram page and pop in your next flavor you'd like, you could be in the chance to win some 4-pack of Quincy too.
Fantastic. And we actually also have one saying, well, what's the RRP, but what does it cost?
It is, it's about $18 for a 4-pack.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. Much cheaper than a cocktail.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Particularly with the peppermint tea bag.
And somebody asked here, what does it taste like? I mean, I have to say, from a first-time drinker,
Yeah, I like to.
I mean, I think you described it as an alcoholic soda water, and it really does have that subtleness to it. But I think it brings, the really, lovely flavors of lime and passion fruit are subtle, but they're not overpowered by any sort of alcoholic taste. So
Yeah. If anyone asks me, I'm just like, oh, it just tastes like sparkling water, just alcoholic.
I would say you do not have that alcoholic taste.
It doesn't taste sweet, and I think that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, and we were really conscious of that as well. And like I say, if you've got a bit of a sweeter palate, maybe try the passion fruit first.
Yeah.
If you find things look bitter, maybe go for the lime first.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, and thank you for waiting.
No. Thank you so much for having us.
It's going to make us look good in front of people, given that we have no idea what we're doing, but we really appreciate you coming on and sharing some info with us.
All right, so we'll say goodbye now,
Yes.
and then we'll
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for such a good day. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well, what a massive day, Katie. I mean, I think there's been many people that have stayed on the whole journey with us, which we are very thankful for.
We're looking at ourselves. You can look back on that.
It's the end of the day.
Yeah.
So what we actually wanted to open it up to all of you who have stayed with us and still with us. We're going to have a wrap up, but do you have any questions for us? We have the Q&A still open. If you have any questions that you would like to ask us at all, we're here to sort of answer them. And don't forget the main competition. Katie, do you want to just quickly recap on that?
Yes, so the main competition is on Instagram, and it is using the SOUPFEST 2020 hashtag. It's going to be open, we said 48 hours when we started, but it's 48 hours from the end of the session, so 48 hours from now. All we need you to do is upload either a story or a picture onto your feed with something that you learned, something that you created. Honestly, these cocktails took, as you saw, like 2 seconds. So anything that you've taken from today, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love you to share it. And if you do, you are in the running to win an ultimate pack, which is basically a pack that we send to you with the prizes from every single session that we've run.
And importantly, our last competition, which is still live across the whole day, across all of those sessions, so you can still jump in and make a post. And the last one, which we have with Quincy, which was tag your friends, tell us what you'd like who'd you like to share a midweek cocktail with, which is what we're having tonight. Which, I mean, as you probably appreciate, Quincy is the perfect choice for that as well. We've got many different questions here and many different tags. Jody would like to share as tag Georgie, please share with me a lovely Quincy cocktail. Life's been mad and sometimes sad. Time together will never fail. So lots of great people that you'd like to connect with. And I think by looking at the chat, I think a lot of people are certainly really keen to try Quincy. So sorry, we can't share it with all of you that we are drinking it in front of you. But you are able to win it as well. So there is lots of Quincy packs up for grabs if you do jump in and enter that competition. So I'm just going to see whether there is a question from Margaret that's come through. Are the sessions viewable? I have come in after work and have missed so much. Yes, is the answer to that. We will be sending out a recording straight as soon as we can. That will be going live in the bio for our Instagram, and it will be on Facebook. We'll also be sending it out to everyone who's in our community, an email. So yes, definitely this recording, you'll be able to jump in and jump out of any sessions that you've missed, or for some people who haven't been able to jump in at all, you'll be able to watch the whole day again.
And another question that we did get was asking if we'll be doing a day like this again, and we will. But what we're thinking, as you know, this was our first one. We know that there is interest in connecting with brands in this forum. through these sessions, and we just want to give it a try. But what we're thinking in the future is that we'll actually theme it. So there'll be more that are around health or mums or beauty or pets or whatever that might be. So that it can be something that you guys can nominate your interest to be involved with as well. But certainly we'll share that as we move forward.
Yeah, so it has been a fantastic day. I mean, we should thank all of our amazing brand partners that have jumped on board. I have to say, we came up with this idea over COVID. We've probably spent the last couple of weeks really putting it together quite quickly. So a lot of people have jumped on board and put together some really fantastic sessions to share with you. So yeah, we should definitely thank all the brand partners. We also, as Katie mentioned, like this is something we want to try out. So we will, when we're sending an email out, we will put probably a bit of a survey in there, which will ask you for your feedback. And we're all about feedback at Social Soup. What have you loved? What would you like to see more of, less of? And I think some of the ideas that Katie's had around theming it around different areas, maybe having some shorter ones. And I know we have had a lot of people who have said that they couldn't join because of work. Many of us have had to go back to work. Some of us have already gone into offices, and some of us, we've never left the places of work. We might be an essential worker, or our place of work is never shut down. So we are really wanting to have some sessions where we can have them outside those work hours. So bear with us. This was the first one, so it was really just trying that out and putting it on and seeing what everybody thought. So I'm so glad to have so many joining us.
And to the Social Soup team who've pulled this all together as well. There's many people behind the Zoom lens, so thank you to everyone as well.
So I think that's a wrap, everyone. So I hope you get a seedlip or a Quincy cocktail. We get to say goodbye, and thanks again for joining us.
See you.